everybody, Trevor here, and I'm back from my Californian vacation. Sorry I haven't uploaded a video for over a week. I was just busy doing other things in real life like my therapy session, which was overall great. Anyway, for today's top 5, I thought I'd do a video on my picks for the worst Thomas and Friends songs. For this list, I'm not going to include any songs from While Legends Go because you already know my overall thoughts on it. This video is for songs that were either featured in the model era, CGI series, or any promotional material relating to that stuff. And keep in mind that this will be my final top video regarding Thomas for the month because I want to focus on Disney topics since we are in the 100th anniversary celebration of the company. Now without any further delay, let's look at these horrible songs from Thomas and Friends, shall we? Number 5. Most of the New Model Era songs. The New Model Era, also known as the Early Hit Era, had seasons 8 to 12 as well as the Pack miniseries. And to be honest, most of these songs aren't very good in my opinion. Let me explain why. What's so magical and charming about the songs from the classic era was that they're based on a certain instrumental theme. For example, there's the Night Train, which was based on the Post Train theme from season 3, and there's also James the Really Splendid Engine, which was based on James's classic theme. I could go on and on about this, but you get the idea. The problem with most of the new songs from the New Model Era is that they're so generic and boring. What do I mean by that? Well, the thing is, unlike the classic songs from the first 7 seasons, some of these talk about generic topics like sharing, being brave, and having strength. Not to mention the Emily song from season 8, which was kind of annoying. I kind of wish the instrumental version of it was based on her original season 7 theme instead of this. But still, I like the character Emily, just not her season 8 song. Another example of a bad song in my opinion was H is for Harold. While the flow of it sounds nice and calm, but my biggest problem with it is that we already have a song about Harold from season 5, which was actually a much better song than what Hit Entertainment put out because it sounded heroic and action-packed. H is for Harold? More like H is for hell. All in all, most of these new model era songs suck. I stick with most of the older songs from the first 7 seasons of the show because they're more memorable than these. Number 4. Sir Topham Hatt's song from the CGI series. Let me sum this song up with one measly sentence. It's a ripoff of the original Sir Topham Hatt song from season 5. What made the original so great is that it was based on Sir Topham Hatt's instrumental theme from season 5. And not only that, but it has a really nice flow to it. I even regret not putting it in the honorable mentions in my top 15 classic Thomas songs video. This new one, on the other hand, just feels pointless, and it doesn't even have the same charm as the original by Junior Campbell and Michael Donnell. I'd say skip this one. Coming at number 3 is the Day of the Diesel song. Remember in my every single Thomas movie review video back in the day? Well, I've talked about this song and why it's a ripoff of Go Go Thomas from Hero the Rails. I mean, it has the same beat as the original but with different lyrics. I could play both of these songs on here just to give you an idea, but the last time I did that, I got copyright claimed, and I had to mute both songs in the original. God, I hate the YouTube copyright system. All in all, when it comes to Thomas movie songs in general, the Day of the Diesel song is the absolute worst because it sounds completely unoriginal, and it makes the Misty Island Rescue song sound better in comparison. This is what happens when you run out of ideas. Coming at number 2 is Let's Dream. If you've watched my thoughts on Big World Big Adventures video back in the day, then you know why I personally hate the dream sequences in this new CGI era. It's mainly because most of them are nothing but filler. This song is just a montage of previous fantasy sequences used in seasons 22 to 24. I know they're just dreams, but like I just said, they're nothing but filler and they were only made to fill in the runtime of each episode. This isn't Arthur, folks, and I actually liked that show. Lastly, I'll admit that that video I made on Big World Big Adventures as a whole back then, the editing wasn't all that great, but that's only because I was learning how to use Microsoft Edge Video Editor, which is the worst editing software I had to do. Maybe I'll do a revisit of it someday, but with better quality editing. But still, Let's Dream is a pretty cringy song. If you're like me who couldn't stand the dream sequences even back then I suggest you stay away from this music video at all costs. Now before I get to my number 1 pick, I just want to give a few dishonorable mentions. The engine roll call theme. I still think it's okay, but not as good as the original by Junior Campbell and Michael Donnell. Let's Go. Well, it is a generic song from the Renaissance era, but at least it has a nice beat to it, so that's why it didn't make it. Imagine somebody turning this into a meme like every time it says let's go, the song either speeds up or slows down. The Misty Island Rescue song. As much as I despise Misty Island Rescue, but the song here is quite catchy and memorable because it matches the setting and mood of Misty Island itself, as well as the Locking Locos. After all, Bash Dash and Ferdinand are American designs. And my number one worst Thomas song is the Thomas and Friends Nursery Rhymes songs. I've talked about this in part 3 of every piece of Thomas promotional material reviewed video, and I'll try to summarize it here. First of all, these nursery rhyme shorts are not only bastardized versions of the classic nursery rhyme songs that we all know and love, but this is Cocomelon levels of bad when it comes to nothing but constant singing throughout the episodes. For example, there's a song called Pop Goes the Diesel, which has the same exact feel as the original Pop Goes the Weasel, but instead of copying the one by Junior Campbell and Michael Donnell in Season 2, we got this. By the way, Diesel's supposed to be a villain, not a playmate. Another perfect example of this is where they rip off the Bingo song where instead of saying bingo, they say Percy. More like, and Percy was a lame-o. Nah, just kidding. I actually do like Percy as a character. But still, you get my point on why it sucks because it's so boring as hell. And like I said earlier, this is as bad as Cocomelon, and I can't stand that show. Overall, when it comes to Thomas songs from YouTube promotional material, these are the most cringy songs because of these reasons alone. I suggest you stay away from them at all costs. Now let me know in the comment section below on which of these Thomas songs you hate the most. Do you agree with my list or have you seen worse? And if you like these songs, then that's totally fine. It's just my silly personal opinion. Join me in my next top video where I'll be doing Disney topics such as movies, shows, and characters. Trust me, it'll be fun. This is Trevor Davis, signing off.